Hey guys, it's Timmy, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and tonight was Monday Night Raw. Now, here's the weird thing. I enjoyed tonight's Monday Night Raw. As far as I'm watching it live, I was enjoying everything I was seeing. I thought it was a good show. I thought it went smooth. Everything flowed well. It didn't feel real long or anything. But then, if you ask me now, without looking at my notes, what actually happened on this show outside of the world title tournament and that shitty Trish Stratus segment, I can't really remember much. I know, like, Sammy and KO beat Imperium, Dominic beat Woods, and there was other things sprinkled in. I think Mustafa Ali picked up a win over Otis, if I'm thinking correctly. But it's like, that's the weird thing about tonight's show. In the moment, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good show to watch live. But then afterwards, it's like, I kind of remember what happened, but I don't remember really everything that happened. I remember, like, okay, this guy beat this guy, and this guy beat this guy. But then I'm like, well, was it really a good match? Was that really a good match? Was that really a good? So that's the weird thing. Usually, I think back to a Raw. I think back to a SmackDown, and I go, oh, well, that was a good match because of this, or that was a good match because of this. But most of the matches on tonight's show, and maybe they were kept short, and that's why I don't really remember much happening, is if we look, first triple threat went 13 and a half. Then Ali beat Otis in 2 minutes. Second triple threat went 9 and a half. Then Rhea beat Dana Brooke in less than 2 minutes. So maybe that's why I'm not remembering. I mean, I remember KO and Sammy against Imperium being really good. That match went almost 10 minutes, actually longer than the second triple threat. But then you got Zoe Stark and Nikki Cross, 2.5 minutes. Honestly, I forgot that match even happened without looking at my notes. The Trish stuff was bad, horrible. Dominic and Woods actually got 10 minutes and 45 seconds, which, woo. And then we had the main event that went 13 and a half. So WFE says, I was there in Jacksonville. Okay, then I need to speak to you. How was this crowd being there live? Because this crowd sounded bad on television. Like they just didn't really care. This sounded like a very dead, we're just here because it's WWE and they came to our city kind of crowd, but not because we're super excited that WWE is here. That's how this crowd came off. Now, WFE, let me know how the crowd felt being there live in person. Because again, watching on TV, and maybe we were spoiled with the crowds over the week or over the weekend and Friday, Saturday in Puerto Rico, but this crowd tonight in Jacksonville just didn't seem like they cared much for anything. I mean, they booed Cody at the beginning. They barely did the Duval with him. And they didn't even really boo Dom that much. So this was just on television, came off as a weird crowd. And we'll get into all that and more, but we got a little housekeeping. Remember, you can watch this podcast, this show, this video, whatever you want to call it, a myriad of different ways, whether that's live or later. If you're watching live, you can do so on Twitch, twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited. You can watch live or later on YouTube, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, or listen on podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below, or donate, WFE. I'm going to read your comment here in a second. You can hit that donate button down below or donate Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can subscribe to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and they always give you one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here. Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can support us over on YouTube by hitting the join button down below and becoming a channel member. And also, finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Only takes a couple of seconds to type it in. It's PWUNLIMITED. Type it in. You'll be supporting us with all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases, whether that is on the Epic Game Store on your computer or through the games of Fortnite, through the game of Rocket League on your PlayStation, your Xbox, and so forth. So, yeah, use that code and help us out. Now, WFE says everyone was crazy. They were screaming, singing, it was crazy. So that was the weird thing. When Cody came out, or not Cody, when Seth came out for the first match, the crowd sounded cool and good when he was walking to the ring. Then when Seth got in the ring and was just standing there, soaking it in, it almost felt like half the crowd kind of stopped singing almost. And maybe I'm just not remembering it correctly, but you can't compare, Dwayne, you can't compare this crowd tonight to the crowd in Puerto Rico. You just can't. Because Jacksonville gets a lot of wrestling. Puerto Rico, they hadn't had an actual show in a couple of years, let alone a show on television or a pay-per-view. So you can't at all compare the crowd tonight to the crowd the crowds actually in Puerto Rico. That's unfair. That's just not feasible. You shouldn't do that. Because again, you're talking about a city in Jacksonville that gets multiple WWE shows a year, that gets multiple AEW shows a year, that had almost 2 years of just straight AEW shows every single week. Compared to Puerto Rico, that doesn't get many wrestling shows every year. That when wrestling does come to Puerto Rico, they get super hyped for it and they let us know. So, again, not a fair comparison at all. Not fair at all. But as far as the show does go, they told us that this show will feature the Raw portion of the World Heavyweight Championship tournament. Out then comes Cody, and you go, oh, Cody's triple threats opening the show. It didn't. They just wanted Cody to go out there and warm up the crowd for some reason. I didn't get this, but okay. So Cody comes out, gets a big reaction from the crowd in Jacksonville. They aired clips of his win over Brock Lesnar. And most of it was in black and white because Brock was bloody. Rhodes said that Jacksonville was basically his home during the pandemic. They made a lot of great memories together, and he wanted to make another one tonight. Rhodes talked about the magnitude of backlash in Puerto Rico, but he didn't get to experience it the way the fans did because he was busy with Brock. Cody discovered that Lesnar was made of what Lesnar was made of because it was all over his fists. He discovered that Lesnar can be defeated because he beat him. So that Lesnar took away the clarity because he was in a fight for survival. But now it's clear exactly what's next for him on Raw, and that is the World Heavyweight Championship. Rose then asked to show the brackets. He showed the brackets and all that, and then said that I will keep fighting. And I will keep going for this belt until I hear Samantha over there say, and new World Heavyweight Champion Cody Rhodes. Crowd then chanted, you deserve it, multiple times for Cody, before Cody then said, let the tournament begin. And then out comes Seth. And I was like, Cody's going to come out here in gear and everything ready to go, and then not even open the show with his match. That was kind of weird. Now, apparently, about an hour before Raw went on the air, the Cody, Miz, Balor triple threat was supposed to open Raw, and then things got shifted and they put the Seth match first. Don't know why that change was made or who made that call, but that is something that happened tonight. So Seth Rollins comes out. He got a good reaction from the crowd. Kind of had a slight stare down with Cody very briefly. And then he got into the ring. Seth remained in the ring throughout a commercial break. His music was still playing. Many minutes later, they recapped his win over Omos at Backlash before showing a video package of Bad Bunny beating Damian Priest with Rollins still standing in the ring. Then we throw it to the back. Kathy Kelly interviews Damian Priest in Gorilla. She asked if the loss to Bad Bunny was weighing on him. Priest said that name? The Priest said that regardless of what happened, he's going to live forever. And that street fight shows just what he can actually do. He said that it wasn't just me versus Bad Bunny. It actually took an entire island to defeat me. And that just shows how brutal I could be. Priest then says that he plans on putting down Rollins and Nakamura tonight by himself with no help. He said then, it's going to be me and Finn Balor fighting it out to figure out who will bring the title to the Judgment Day. Rollins still in the ring 11 and a half minutes later. Like, Jesus Christ. But this match does go 13 and a half minutes. And they went to a break 2 minutes in. When they returned, Rollins wiped out both opponents with a flying crossbody and handed out some suicide dives. Priest cut him off before Nakamura hit Priest with a strike and a flying knee for a 2. Priest then decked Nakamura with a forearm and planted Rollins with an elevated flatliner for a 2. The three men exchanged strikes until Nakamura and Rollins got rid of Priest. Rollins dropped Nakamura with a clothesline, but Priest dropped Rollins on the top rope. Priest then tried a razor's edge, but his knees gave out, so Rollins hit a curb stomp and Nakamura broke up the cover. I really appreciate Damian Priest still selling the leg and the knee and the hurtness, I guess you can call it, from that street fight when Bad Bunny wrecked his knee. Nakamura got the better of a strike exchange with Rollins, though, and hit a reverse exploder. He set it for a Kinshasa, but Priest decked him and tossed Rollins from the ring. Nakamura then fought back and put Priest's injured leg in a leg lock. Rollins then flew in and hit Nakamura with a frog splash, which he rotated in midair, which is awesome looking. He then hit a pedigree to Nakamura and pinned him to win the match and advance to the semifinals later on the night. Great opening match. I loved this match. I thought it was super fun, and all three guys looked really, really good. So then we go to the back, and there's Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. They're walking around basically just telling people that they are here on Raw now, and that the Ring General, Gunther, will be coming next week. They bumped into Sami Zayn and Xavier Woods, and Zayn said that they basically were like, oh, they're tag team champions. We're coming for that. And Sami's like, can you just leave us? We're kind of in the middle of something. And he's like, you know what? Just give us 5 minutes and we'll talk to you later. Kaiser said that they were Imperium and they would not be disrespected like this. Zayn said that they'd still be Imperium in 5 minutes, so give them 5 minutes. Zayn tried to talk to Owens, but Owens said that he couldn't concentrate because Imperium's just standing there. And Vinci, and then Vinci's finger was like kind of in his face. Owens wondered if Kaiser and Vinci were just henchmen for Gunther, like the Usos are henchmen for Roman Reigns, and wondered why there are so many henchmen in WWE. Zayn said that they dealt with the bloodline for months, but you know what? Okay, you guys want to fight? We'll fight you and deal with you and take you out in one night. And they all agreed, okay, we could do this tonight. But then we had a 2-minute match. 2 minutes, 20 seconds, kinda, whatever. It was Mustafa Ali against Otis. And this was a nothing happened, and I don't remember anything. Good thing I got notes match. Ali dropped after Otis clotheslined him. Gable encouraged him to do it again, and the crowd kind of was chanting for Otis. Then there were some boos as well. And then Maxine started trying to talk to Otis. And so Ali kind of moved out of the way when Otis tried to charge at him. Ali knocks down Otis, hits him with a 450, and pins him. Yeah, it's crap. I don't... What was this supposed to be? Just a win for Mustafa? I don't even know. It's supposed to be that Otis is getting confused because Master Gable's trying to tell him to do one thing, but Maxine Dupree is trying to tell him to do another thing? I don't know. Tyreek Warren says, what was supposed to be the family reunion segment. Thank you for the super chat. Remember, if you guys want to get your comments, questions, or concerns read live on the air, you can do so by putting a super chat in the YouTube chat. Now, that was not something WWE put out or reported. That was something from, I want to say, the random ass Boozer Twitter account. But we did get the family reunion. It was Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, and Dexter Lumis. The Way reunited tonight on Raw in a sense. So we did get a backstage segment with all of them. But yeah, that's what the Boozer guy must have been alluding to or guessing, since they're all on Raw. He just threw out there. Hence why he didn't even say what the family was, because he knew he could have been wrong. So he just went very vague with it. But that's what he was talking about. So The Miz cut a backstage promo putting himself over. He said that he would win the tournament and we would have to put respect on his name. Then they show pictures of Miz and Maurice from the Kentucky Derby. This match then went 9.5 minutes. It was the second triple threat. It was Finn Balor, The Miz, and Cody Rhodes. Rhodes hit both men with suicide dives early on, which led to a break about 1 minute to 2 minutes into the match. Rhodes remained in control after the break and handed out some power slams before dropping both opponents with a double Cody cutter. Balor then blocked across Rhodes, but Rhodes hit a disaster kick for a 2. Miz then hit Rhodes with a DDT and got a 2 of his own. Balor gave Rhodes a headlock elbow drop and got a 2, followed by a shotgun dropkick. Rhodes then avoided a coup de grace, and The Miz gave Balor a skull-crushing finale, but Rhodes broke up the pin. Rhodes gave Balor a crossroads, and Miz tried to steal the pin by chucking Cody out of the ring, but Rhodes popped right back up and broke up the pin. Rhodes then gave Miz 3 consecutive crossroads when all of a sudden, country-ass kicker Brock Lesnar suddenly would appear and yanked Cody out of the ring before he can go for the pin. Brock would then take down Cody as Finn Balor would then take out The Miz with the coup de grace and pick up the victory. So Finn gets out of there. Miz disappears. They tell us Finn's going to the finals or the semifinals to face Seth later, and then we're focused on Brock. So Cody's laying at ringside in front of the announce table. Brock's standing over him, just all pissed off in a cool new T-shirt that I wish they would put up on shop because I'm going to order that as soon as they do. Oh, man, is this shirt badass. Like, I'll pull it up on the screen because this shirt's dope as shit. Like, I want this shirt now. Why is it not on shop yet? Like, why is this shirt, pull this up on the screen, not on WWE shop yet? Country ass kicking. Probably can't wear that shirt when I do things at my kid's school. But anywhere else, yes. As soon as this shirt does go up on shop, I'm buying it. Like, no ifs, ands, buts about it. That shirt's dope as shit. But Brock, standing over Cody, then grabs Cody and sends him through the announce table with an F5. Brock then looks into the camera and you see the stitches in the middle of his face and the black eye. He's like, look at my face. Look at my face. And he's got his face right up in the camera, like right up in the camera. And Cody's just laying there dead. And Brock's pissed off, yelling and this and that. And he eventually like grabs Cody and coddles his head in his lap, I guess you can say. He's like, so Cody, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about a fight? I want to talk about a fight. How about we talk about a fight? Because I want to fight with you at Night of Champions. And Cody's just laying there, unresponsive in the moment. And he goes, who's the coward now? And he drops the mic and he leaves as officials show up to check on Cody. Brock was amazing here. Just being, I'm going to beat your ass. I'm going to be a fucking just super crazy beast monster of a heel. Brock was amazing here. From the whole face right into the camera, look at my face, look what you did to my face, to just the way he was holding Cody's head. And let me see if I got a screenshot of that. I did. I'm going to pull that up. Just the way he was with Cody. holding him when he was like, you want to fight? I want to fight. How about we talk about a fight? So this right here. Like, it's the way he's holding Cody. It's the way he's just like talking to him, and his eyes all busted up, and he's got the stitches in the middle of his face. Like this was great. I loved the hell out of this. So the crowd was booing during this segment, but it also sounded like they piped some in as well. WFE, tell me, how loud was the crowd booing while Brock was beating Cody's ass? So after the break, we see Rhodes limping in the back. And he, I guess you could say, takes himself to the trainer's room. We then get Rhea Ripley coming out. And the announcers put over Zelina Vega's efforts in Backlash. Dana Brooke then cut a pre-tape promo and said that tonight, you're all going to see my untapped potential because I asked for this match. Well, she asked for an ass whooping. It was SmackDown Women's Champion, which they're still calling her the SmackDown Women's Champion, which is very weird, and not just saying, hey, you're on Raw, so you're the Raw Champion, Bianca's on SmackDown, she's the SmackDown Champion. No, she's still called the Raw Women's Champion with the SmackDown belt. And for some reason, the way they talk later almost makes me think that because she's the SmackDown Champion, she can go back and forth, maybe? I don't know. Maybe I look too much into that. But Dana Brooke got a just smidgen, itty bitty bit of offense in before Ripley hit her with a riptide and picked up the victory. Then put her in the prism trap. There we go. So Rhea doesn't want to let go of the hold. Well, actually, she hits her with a second riptide and then puts her back in the hold. And then of all people, we hear Natty's music hit. And Natty just saunters down to the ring, looking kind of mad. And they're like, it's Natalya, the most decorated woman on the roster today. She's kind of the gatekeeper of WWE's women's division. And she just slowly makes her way into the ring, finally gets into the ring. Rhea kind of just throws Dana Brooke to the side and was like, looks at Natty like, what the hell do you want? Like, what are you gonna do? Dom that kind of gets in the way and was like, not worth it. Not worth our time. Let's go. Let's go. Not worth it. And so Dom and Rhea leave. And that's it. Like, what? Who thinks that Natty has a chance against Rhea? Honestly, and this is not any disrespect, I thought Zelina Vega had a better chance in Puerto Rico than Natty could have against goddamn Rhea. Like, Natty of all people? Natty of all people. Come on. So there's a video package just highlighting everybody that's being called up from NXT to Monday Night Raw. Then go to the back with Byron Saxton, who's interviewing Zoe Stark. Stark said that she was amazing at what she does and wants to compete. She has complete confidence in herself to beat anybody here on Raw. She then goes, wait, I come with me, please. And she walks over to Nikki Cross. And she's like, yeah, see, it's women like this that I'm just going to have to beat. Weirdos like you. How about I make an example of you tonight? Starks asks for the match, and Nikki Cross is like, sure, I'd love to play. What? So we got our tag team match. It was non-title. And it was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against the Imperium's Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. Give me 1 second. The Imperium had control early over Sami Zayn, using nefarious means ahead of a commercial break, but Zayn did fight back and made the hot tag after to Owens, who hammered away at Kaiser. Give me 1 second. Owens then used a back body drop, an inverted atomic drop, a clothesline, a pump handle neck breaker, and a senton bomb, but Vinci broke up the pin. Imperium then double-teamed Owens to take over, but Owens eventually gave Kaiser a stunner and superkicked Vinci. Sammy then tagged in, gave Vince a haluva kick, and pinned him to pick up the victory. Boy, did they make Imperium look bad. As far as the match was good, but Imperium didn't really get much shine here. You're supposed to be these badass guys coming over from SmackDown to Raw with Gunther, of all people. And you're already beating them against the tag champs? You could have had this again. Give me my Raw roster real fast. You could have used Los Lotharios. And I get why it was Vinci and Kaiser to set up the whole Gunther's coming next week thing. And now we're going to be like, oh, they kept playing it up on commentary. Is Gunther going to be mad at them for losing? Is Gunther going to be mad? You could have been better if you needed a team to beat for the tag champs, Los Lotharios. Or fuck it, the Viking Raiders could have took this loss. Not Imperium of all people. Jeez. And this is just me nitpicking, but yeah. I didn't think Imperium needed to be the ones to lose here tonight to the tag team champions. So in the back, Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green are walking around looking for signatures on a petition to get them another shot at the tag titles. They convince Xia Li, or really just tell Xia Li, sign this paper. And Xia Li almost seemed like she didn't understand what they were saying. And then they handed the petition to Indy Hartwell and was like, sign this. Just sign it, all of you. 3 people, yeah, we can do that. And Indy didn't want to sign it. Deville and Green explained that it was to give them a tag title shot. Dexter Lumiston showed up, and Indy was like, hey, Dexy, you think I should sign this? And he's like, So Indy turned him down, and then they left. Johnny said he was happy that the whole family was back together, and Johnny said, quote, he was coming back soon and was excited. LeRae was kind of skeptical. Now, was the he supposed to be maybe Austin Theory? Or was the he supposed to mean he and Johnny is gonna be cleared soon because he's dealing with, I think, a shoulder issue? Was that what he meant by he? Or was the he somebody else? WWE congratulated Dave Bautista on a successful weekend in the box office with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and boy, howdy. If you have not seen Guardians 3, you need to see this movie. If you love Guardians 1, love Guardians 2, or just love movies, you'll love this one. This movie was fan-frickin-tastic. So good that same night, I watched it again basically as soon as I got home from the theaters. Took the kids, watched it in theaters, came home and was like, well, I got no work to do. I'm going to lay down and watch Guardians again. I've seen it twice now. Twice in one night, actually. But yeah, this movie was great. I loved Guardians 3. Almost cried once. Got a little emotional. But yeah, if you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3, I highly recommend it. Well worth paying for, too. Like some movies I'll go see and I'll go, that was all right. Not sure if I would have. Not sure if I'm happy that I paid to watch this when I could have watched it at home. But this movie, oh yeah, you need to see this in theaters because the visuals are amazing. The audio is great. I saw it in what's called an MPX theater, which is like basically a big IMAX type screen, but not IMAX branded. And it's got 3D audio in the room that I went in. So cool. So cool. But yeah, this movie's great. And if you do, here's the thing, because a lot of people are dumb and don't realize, if you go and see, or just watch it at home, Guardians 3, there are 2 post-credit scenes. 2 post-credit scenes. One, maybe like 3 minutes after the movie with the quick credits. And then all the credits play. And we get one more that I'm not going to spoil it. But it has me going, how is that going to work? How is that going to happen? When? What? Oh, didn't expect that one. They announced something and all I'm going to say is they announce and say something in the second post-credit scene for Guardians 3 that has me going, oh, I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect that. I didn't know they were still going to move that direction. So, that's all I'm going to say. Not to spoil anything. Go see Guardians in theaters. It's great. Guardians 3. Again, I'll probably watch it again this week. There was a Bloodline video package showing what happened to Backlash and them saying, hey, Roman will be on SmackDown for the first time since WrestleMania this Friday. And I go, wait, they're not wrong. It's literally the first time since Mania. Holy crap. I didn't even realize that Roman's been gone since Mania. Well, he was on the Raw after Mania, but then nothing else after that. And he was probably only on the Raw after Mania because he was still and already in town. So, we then got a 2.5-minute match. It was just Joey Stark beating the shit out of Nikki Cross. Nikki got a minuscule amount of offense. Zoe then beat her up, hit her with the Z360, her belly to back GTS, and picked up the win. That was it. Byron Saxton's interviewing Rhea Ripley and Dominic. He asked if Ripley was feeling extra pressure after being the #1 pick on Raw and still SmackDown Women's Champion. Before she can really say much, we hear some laughing, and up comes Xavier Woods and Akira Tozawa. Dom told them, hey, show mommy some respect. Woods told Dom that his clothes looked like they came from the Lost and Found. Dom then threatened to punch him in the face. So Woods goes, oh, you want to fight? I'll fight you. I'll fight you tonight. Rhea then gets in the way and goes, Dom accepts. And Woods goes, what? Dum? Okay, I'll fight Dum. Yeah, I'll fight Dum. So after this, Banks says, what was Tozawa doing there? He was just there to be there. They needed somebody else to be laughing with Woods. Also, when Rhea stepped up, Tozawa got scared and walked away. So after the segment, he goes, yeah, I'll fight Dum Woods. And then he looks and goes, Tozawa! Where'd Tozawa go? I was like, yeah, Tozawa got scared of Rhea and left. I thought that was hilarious. Because he literally, you got Dom, you got Woods. And Woods is like, yeah, you want to fight? I'll fight you tonight. And Dom's standing there. Rhea then gets in front of Dom. And Tozawa goes, on. And just slowly like does the, oh, I don't want to mess with her. I know what she can do. Bye-bye. Kind of thing. I thought that was great. I thought that was great by Tozawa. Kevin Patrick ran down all the record-breaking stats, I guess you could say, from Backlash in Puerto Rico. And then we got one of the worst segments I've seen on any wrestling show in a very long time. I'm glad Trish Stratus is not here full time. I'm glad Trish Stratus is not here all the time. I loved Trish Stratus back in the day, but Trish Stratus may have lost something. Because the last time Trish cut a long promo, it sucked. This time, it sucked big time. This was bad. Really bad. Like, really, really bad. But Trish Stratus comes down and she tried to cheer up Kevin Patrick because she's like, where's Becky? Has anybody seen Becky? Hey, Kevin, you're her countryman or country mate. I bet you're a little upset that Becky's been gone. Go Ireland. I'm like, oh my God. She's been on my screen for 45 seconds and I already want to turn it off. This is so bad that I wanted to just turn it off. Stratus said that Lynch was still missing and probably hanging out with her dumb daughter, who doesn't know anything because she's only 2 years old. Stratus called Raw her show, and no one would steal her. And she goes, no one would steal my spotlight. Not even Becky freaking Lynch. Becky's music then hits, but it was a fake out. And Trish's like, ha, I got you. I got all of you. Even you here in the front row. You were like, oh my God, Becky's coming out. She's going to get you. She didn't get me. She starts laughing at the fans. And I'm just sitting here going, oh my God, can this be over? Stratus then told a story about her own daughter wanting to name a doll Becky Lynch because she thought Becky was pretty and cool and this and that. And then before Stratus can finish the story, Becky's music hits again. And Trish goes, excuse me, people in the back, we already did that joke. That joke's done and played out. Stop. I didn't ask for the music again. And then the crowd goes wild and Becky's in the ring behind her. Trish then does the worst turnaround, oh my God, I didn't know you were there turnaround I've ever seen, because she knew Becky was supposed to be there. Because usually it's like, whoa. But this was more like, oh, like, I know you're standing there. How do I make it look like I didn't know? Oh, I don't know how to do that. Becky then gave her a Bexploder. Trish jumps out of the ring. Lynch says, I'm right here, Trish. I'm right here if you want to go. And then, like, she pauses. She goes, hey. And then her music plays. And she's like, she looks for a second and just drops the mic. I don't know what happened here at the end of this segment, but it looked like Becky was about to say something else, and they gave her the cue of, no, you're not saying anything else. Because Becky says the whole, I'm right here. She's like, I'm right here. I'm right here, Trish. And then she like, kind of like, oh, bows up, kind of. And she's like, ah, whoa, whoa. Her music just starts playing. And I'm like, okay. So was Becky supposed to say something else and then cut her off? Or what? Because that was just like kind of weird. But happy that they cut her off because this is bad. Also, Becky was out for like 3-4 weeks with an injury. Well, Becky comes back today looking very lean. Almost to the point where I'd say she looks like she may have lost some like definition in her arms and her like muscle mass. Like she looked extra thin for some reason, which is weird. Becky's always been a thinner female, but for some reason, she looked thinner than normal here tonight. So I don't know what that meant. And I wasn't the only one to think that, because I saw others posting about it on Twitter too, saying Becky looks different. Becky looks like she's dropped a lot of weight. Becky looks like she's lost muscle mass. Becky looks like she's thinned out in the last couple of weeks for some reason. So yeah, I don't know. So we go to the back, and Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Adam Pearce are all checking on Cody Rhodes in the trainer's room, and he's talking about how like his midsection's tender. Oh yeah, Mr. Banks says the makeup. The makeup didn't do Becky any favors either. She had some weird eye makeup that really made her eye sockets look sunk in. Really bad. Really bad. So we had Dominic versus Woods. Good match. Went 10.5 minutes. Actually, over 10.5 minutes. So Woods was on the offense early, but Dom back body dropped him out of the ring, and he collided with the ring steps. Dom cut off Woods' comeback attempt after a break and hit the three amigo suplexes for a 2 count. Woods then fought back with the forearm, a corner clothesline, rolling clothesline, and a tornado DDT for a 2. Dom came right back with a spinning back elbow for a 2. Dom took too much time to brag, so Woods tripped him, dragged him over the top rope and hit a missile dropkick for a 2. Woods went for his flying springboard elbow, but Ripley yanked Dom out of the way. Dom then rolled up Woods while holding the tights to pick up the victory. I thought these two had a pretty dang good match. I actually enjoyed this match. Dom is getting a lot better. A lot better. A little disappointed with the Jacksonville crowd not booing the shit out of him during his entrance and stuff, but hey, each their own. There was then a video with Jinder Mahal introducing us to Indus Sher and telling us why they are going to wreak havoc on Raw. Hey, look, Veer is back. But they didn't say Veer is coming. They missed the joke. They so had it. And maybe they don't want to do it, but they had the joke of Indus Sher is coming. Indus Sher is coming. But no, I like, the pairing of these two guys with Jinder, because Jinder's a good talker, so Jinder can talk for them, and they are the heavies. They are the muscles. They do the fighting for the most part. Miz meets up with Nakamura in the back and complains that you didn't have my back. We both could have won if we had each other's backs. Maybe we should be a team. We can be Miz K Nakamura. And Nakamura's like, Miz, you do have a point. We do need to do something together. Next week, Shinsuke Nakamura, The Miz. He pauses. And he looks right at The Miz. Miz is like, yeah. And Nakamura goes, one-on-one. Mano-y-mano. Because it's awesome. And he backs away, and Miz is like, what? Next week? What? Miz did not look happy here. So, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez then meet up with Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville in the back. They said Green and Deville should have just stepped up and asked them for a title shot instead of having to do this whole petition thing. But they'll oblige and they'll sign the petition. Liv signed it big and then kissed it. Raquel signed it and she's like, all right, so if this works, you'll get your title shot against us once we beat Damage Control. And Sonya laughs, goes, you think we were angling for a shot against you guys? No, we know Damage Control is going to beat you on SmackDown, and then we want to fight Damage Control. Morgan and Rodriguez are like, oh, they think that's going to, huh? They think that's going to, okay. They shrugged them off. They looked at each other like, yeah, we got this. And then Sonya and Chelsea disappear, walk off, go away. Kathy Kelly then interviews Cody Rhodes in the back and asked about everything that happened earlier in the day with Brock Lesnar. Rhodes said that he lost the opportunity to become the first ever World Heavyweight Champion in a tournament that, well, respectfully, was his to win. Rhodes was almost speechless, but found something to say. Rhodes says that this was the second time Lesnar has not only attacked him, but attacked him from behind with no reason. So the only reason he can think of now was that Lesnar was losing his long-running grip over the main event scene in WWE, saw that Cody was now the top dog, and doesn't really like that. Rhodes was now the man, and he proved it at Backlash. And again, Brock doesn't like that. He then said, Brock, you want to fight? You want to fight me? Against my better judgment, I'm going to say, I accept your fight. So there we go. At Night of Champions, it will be Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar in some sort of a fight. I don't know what this segment or what this match is going to be, whether it's just a street fight, whether it's an MMA fight, whether it's a cage match, whether it's something else. We'll have to wait and see and find out. We got 2 more SmackDown or 2 more Raws before the pay-per-view on the 27th. But speaking of the future, you know what's closer than Night of Champions is next week's Monday Night Raw with 3 things announced. One, whatever you want to say. The IC champion Gunther will be here and in action. Shinsuke Nakamura will be taking on The Miz, and the Women's Tag Team Championships will be on the line when whoever the champions are coming on a SmackDown will defend against Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. Then we had our main event. It was Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins in the semifinals of the World Heavyweight Championship tournament, with the winner going on and fighting for the title at Night of Champions. Since Saturday, no one said The Miz and Nakamura are a tag team. They're literally facing each other one-on-one next week. That doesn't mean they're a tag team guy. Anyways. So, Balor, early on in this match, they basically redo the spot that injured Finn in 2016 at SummerSlam, but this time in reverse. Balor powerbombed Rollins into the barricade. I loved this as a callback. This was awesome. They did it within the first 2 minutes of the match, and then they went to a break. After the break, Rollins was selling his arm as he made a comeback, and throughout the remainder of the match, they kept saying that Seth's now got a messed up arm. Rollins tried something off the top, but Balor reversed into a cradle for a 2 and transitioned into an armbar. Rollins slipped out, but Balor hit a sling blade. Balor went for a drop kick, but Rollins hit a super kick and got a 2 off of it. They took turns slamming each other's head into the apron until Rollins took over and repeatedly bounced Balor's head off of it. Rollins then hit an enziguri in the ring, but Balor came back with the Pele kick. They each sat up and smiled at one another before going at it yet again. Balor hit a double foot stomp. Rollins then hit a superplex, but Balor countered a Falcon Arrow into a reverse DDT for a 2. Balor stomped at Rollins in the corner, and then hit a drop kick to the back of the head and drop kicked him into the corner. Rollins dodged a coup de grace attempt and hit a one-armed pedigree for a near fall. Balor then avoided a stomp, but with Balor sitting face up, Rollins stomped his face before hitting his usual curb stomp and picking up the victory. So Seth, I almost said Finn for some reason, Seth is moving on to the finals, the World Heavyweight Championship tournament. Who will he face? Well, it's going to either be, who are the men from SmackDown again? I have it written down right here. It's going to either be Austin Theory, AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley, Rey Mysterio, Edge, or Sheamus. I'm going to predict it's Seth and AJ in the finals. So with that, guys, that's all we got for tonight's Monday Night Raw. You heard what I had to say. Now it's time to hear what you guys have to say about tonight's show. Let's refresh all the polls really fast. Forgot to do the Twitch poll, so let's just run that one really quickly. Or as the Twitter poll does go, 42% thought the show was just all right, 35% liked it, and 17% didn't. As far as the YouTube community poll does go, 75% or 74% liked it, 20% thought it was just all right, and 6% didn't like it. And the YouTube community poll, 82% liked it, 16% thought it was just all right, and 1% didn't like Raw. Looking at the Twitch poll, within the first 2 minutes, or not even 2 minutes, everybody seems to have liked Raw. So with that, guys, overall, an enjoyable Raw. Not the best of Raws, but an enjoyable, really good, in my opinion, episode of Raw. So with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, or podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. We'll be back here live on Wednesday evening for the AEW Dynamite show, which is a big old stacked show. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you back here Wednesday. Have a good one.